Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Hey guys. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's near and dear to my heart. Maybe a little off topic for the channel, but somewhat in the realm of camping, and that's camping souvenirs. So when I go out on trips, I like to do a little treasure hunt and see if I can find something cool, pick up off the ground, you know, cool piece of driftwood, something like that. Sometimes you find garbage literally that you turn into some cool little knickknack that brings back memories for you. So without further ado, the first one I'm going to show you guys is a knife I made. And this one is parts I picked up in Tamagami. The handle of it is made of a bone that was chewed on by wolves or whatever animals, and the knife blade is one that I found in the sand on McConnell Bay, I believe it is, in the Chiniguchi area. And then the base for it, and I think it's the hilt of the handle, is all made out of a gigantic pine gall I found on the last day of this 10-day trip we did last year. So that's the only reason I brought it, because it was literally like half the size of me. And it turned into the base and this and a couple other little things. The next thing I'm going to show you guys is this one here is from a forest fire, and it's got some cool red grains in it. I don't know if the camera picks that up very well. The next one is a piece of driftwood, and that's from Horn Lake, which I haven't featured Horn Lake yet on the channel, but it's a cool little lake. It's got a lot of cottages on it, but the one side of it only has one cottage, I believe, and it's got lots of little nooks and crannies that are fun to explore. This one is actually a drill core from Wolf Lake up in Tamagami, or the Chiniguchi area. I just picked this one up this year. Actually, I picked it up on the first video I did on Chiniguchi area. It's kind of cool. Looks like it's got some iron specks in it or something, because you can see a little bit of rust coming through on the stone. But yeah, interesting one. I haven't decided what I want to do with this one yet, but I might carve it into something or just keep it the way it is, because it's kind of cool. But yeah, these drill cores were laying all over the place. Say hi, Nona. Say hi. Don't be rude. Then I have this one, which is another piece of driftwood from Horn Lake. This is actually probably one of my first camping souvenirs I ever took. And this took a lot of cleaning up to make it look like it does today. It was kind of rotten on the outside, but I liked it because you can see where the beaver chewed out on it. And it kind of looks like a horn. And it's from Horn Lake, so that made me laugh. This one is, I believe, a moose skull. Certainly looks that way. No, it's not a toy. No. Kind of cool. I actually showed this one in the Oxtongue River Whitewater video that I did in the spring. It was one of the first serious videos I did, showcasing the whitewater on the Oxtongue River in Algonquin Park. Yeah, I haven't done anything with this one to clean it up or anything, but that's probably on the agenda for the winter. It's just low priority right now. This one here is actually a birch tree that was completely eaten by carpenter ants on the inside, and we were on a campsite where it decided to keel over, and it was like 10 feet of the trunk up, completely eaten out by ants. But the outside of the birch tree actually looked super healthy, so it was kind of cool. And I don't know if you noticed the little bowl I keep it in. That's also part of the pine gall that I took from Tamagami. The last two I have to show you guys, or no one remembers that one. That was actually in the last video I did, the last trip video I did on the Chiniguchi area, and that's the toy Nona found that she brought in the boat. And she was struggling to get out of the boat, and she wants to play with it really bad again. But I'm hoping it turns into basically a smaller version of this. This is actually another pine gall from Chiniguchi. This one feels a bit lighter, so I'm hoping it's not like 80% bark and turns into smaller than a golf ball, but we'll see. That's what I'm going to show you guys in the rest of the video is how I turned this one into something like this one, which shouldn't take too long. Should be interesting. See what it turns out like. What do you think, Nona? So your souvenir? That's one you picked out. Yep. Once we make it nice though, you can't play with it no more. Hey, hey, hey. Well, let's get in the shop and see if we can make something out of this. So here we are in the shop, aka the laundry room. And I think I'm just gonna start this one with a belt sander. I mean, I did the other one and I kind of took a chisel to it to clean off the bark and that. But it really doesn't take long to go through the bark. It's probably gonna make more of a mess, but might keep it a little bit bigger is what I'm kind of thinking. You know, I'm just trying to make a perfect sphere or as close as I can with the tools I have at hand. I don't have a wood lathe or anything like that. Kicking around or even at the shop at work, I don't have a wood lathe. So do the best with what you got. You can use an orbital sander to do the whole process if that's all you got. Even a palm sander would probably work. It would just take forever. So let's get to it. Mask up. We all know about that nowadays. So I think I'm starting to get close enough to the sphere shape I'm looking for. Starting to look kind of cool. But I think it's time to slow it down so we don't lose too much material and start using the orbital sander. I believe I started with an 80 grit on the belt sander. I found for stuff like this, especially when you're working with a softwood like pine, 60 grit's just a little bit too aggressive, and it'll also tear the ball out of your hand really quick, so be careful of that. I don't know if you caught that in the video, but it did that to me once. Ripped it right out of my hand and chucked it across the room. So let's hit it with the orbital. Well, that was about 100 grit on the orbital, and that's got it roughly to the shape I wanted. Starting to look cool. Grain's starting to pop a little bit more. I like to leave a little bit of the bark exposed, and when I work up the grits it'll kind of shrink it a little bit more, unfortunately. So we'll lose a little bit of that, but still should leave some in the end when I'm done with the whole thing. Yeah, starting to look cool. So now I'm going to step it up to 220 on the palm sander, and since it's a softwood, that should bring it up to pretty close to the final product pretty quickly. I'm missing a couple grits. Sue me. Final step in the process is just to clean it up with a simple paintbrush, get all the dust off of it, and then put the oil to it and make her pretty. I just use simple cutting board oil. I like the finish it gives on it, and it seems to last a long time. Maybe once a year you have to reapply it or something like that, but I like it better than putting a clear coat on, and I just think it looks more natural. Sometimes this takes 2 coats to get a nice even finish on it, and sometimes you got to concentrate on all the little holes. But I'm just going to keep working my way around and coating her until I'm happy with it. Looks pretty good. Now the finish will lighten up over time, but looks pretty nice. I love the wood grain you get from these pine galls because it just runs like all different directions on it. Bam! Now I have 2 balls. Be sure to like and subscribe for more canoe and camping tips.